What's up, Lou?
You know, it starts with one thing, and I don't know why. It doesn't really matter how hard I try. So just keep that in mind. Because I designed this podcast.
Now, okay, how much time went into this intro? Like, in your mind? Like,
0.03 seconds.
the worst one. Worst.
That can't be true.
No.
You say that every time, and it's never
No,
the
but
worst
this is
one.
the worst one for sure, though, I think.
We can do worse. We can do worse.
Okay, now sing that again in a cool cat voice. Make it worse.
Okay. It starts with one thing. I don't know why. That's what he sounds like. I can't do it.
You did a really bad cool cat.
Well, then you do it,
Explain
Brian.
what this show is.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Looney Duels. This is a show where we talk about Looney Tunes characters, their powers, their weaknesses, their lovers. Sometimes. It's crazy fun time if you're a freak. You know, you really just want to have a good time with these animals and sometimes people and sometimes an alien. Sometimes a Halloween monster. That's shout out to my boy Gossamer out over there.
When's the last time we saw that guy?
It's been a while. Speaking of, let's just get into it. Our first short today is we're going to be talking about Bugged by a Bee, the 1969 Cool Cat short. Whippy!
Yeah, we're wrapping up the cool cats. I think we were only originally going to do those 4, and then we said, fuck it. Finish off the last one that isn't racist.
I specifically said in the last episode that we would never ever talk about Cool Cat again. And immediately I'm contradicting it now.
We're not contradicting the fact we're not talking about the racist one.
That's true. When we never will. So
Sorry.
Sorry. This one is a story about Cool Cat that does not feature Colonel Rimfire in any way, shape, or form.
This is a bizarro Cool Cat short because I don't think it's like the previous 4 we watched even the slightest. He's like a new character in this one.
Yeah, for one, he's missing his iconic little hat. Like the entire short, he does not have his little hat, and I liked his hat. I'm kind of upset about it. I'm kind of upset there's no Cool Cat hat.
Yeah, no, that's the first thing. Second off, he's really angry in this one. Like, really irritable. The joke of the past 4 shorts with Cool Cat is like he's so chill to the point of obliviousness sometimes. Like, he doesn't really care about what's happening around him. He doesn't really care what people are trying to do to him. He just kind of has like oh baby, it's all good over here for me. Cool Cat, I'm the coolest guy ever. But in this one, he is mad. He is angry. He's pissed off at a little bee. He looks angry for half the short. He's like a loser in this one. Like, he's like a loser character now. Cool Cat, in between the last short and now, I guess, became a loser.
Well, here's my hot take, is I think this short is kind of an origin story for Cool Cat, right?
Okay.
In this short, Cool Cat is competing in some physical activities for like a college. He's trying to impress some sexy college-aged girls.
They're college-aged, don't worry, I made sure.
They're cheering and jumping and reusing their animation and everything. And Cool Cat's like trying to be really cool around them. And there's this bee that keeps showing up in the short after an altercation they have at the beginning and keeps stinging him, which causes him to do better in the thing he's doing. So he's doing like pole jumping and stuff like that, high jump. I forget what else he does. Throws a football at one point, and the bee is helping him win by hurting him. And at the end, the bee gets the trophy because he was the true hero of the school. And I think in that moment, Cool Cat was humbled. Cool Cat realized that there were powers beyond him, such as a little bee, that could be cooler than him. And so from that moment on, he went to the store, he got a hat, and he learned to be the Cool Cat that we know and love today.
Okay, so I have the opposite opinion of you.
Okay.
And I think this will affect performance in the Looney Tunes battlefield. I think the Cool Cat shorts are chronological, and this is after all of them. I think Colonel Rimfire just gave up. Like, he knew when to quit, unlike Elmer Fudd. He's like, all right, we've been at this 4 times already. Each time was a loss. I'm going to take the little money we made from the circus and just kind of fuck off for a bit. and I think that broke Cool Cat. I think we're witnessing kind of like the edgy Cool Cat reboot here, where he's like kind of like a washed up loser. He's like kind of like an alcoholic or something. Now, like this is like his BoJack Horseman era, and now he's a loser. I think he's washed up. He's a loser. He like Elmer Fudd never gave up on Bugs Bunny. Colonel Rimfire gave up on Cool Cat and then made him feel like a failure. He couldn't even have a rival good, and it turned him into this. He's a loser now. And any previous powers we witnessed for Cool Cat don't apply anymore on the battlefield. He's lost them.
All of them?
All of them. He's lost them all. He's a loser now.
But, like, he still seems like a little chill.
Nope.
Like a little
he is so angry. I don't agree.
So you think that Cool Cat is just, like, dead immediately?
Yeah,
like, he walks out into the battlefield and he's dead.
He's gonna walk out, stumble around with, like, a beer bottle in his hand, and, like, throw it at Henry Chickenhawk, and then Henry Chickenhawk will catch the bottle in his hand perfectly, no problem, then throw it back.
God. Well, I can't say I agree with that interpretation. I think it's an origin story short. I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree there.
I think if it's a future short, it makes Cool Cat more interesting on the battlefield. Like it adds a bit of a spin to him that he's a fucking loser.
But would maybe he have some pent up issues, like rage and stuff, in regards to that? Like maybe that gives him a boost.
That might be worth. Okay, maybe something. Maybe at first he kind of goes crazy on the battlefield at first, like he's attacking people. I don't think he gets any kills because he's still a loser, but I think he does go.
He injures some people.
He injures some people, and then one of the tunes like, all right, let's just get this guy out of here. He's like a bug right now. He's like a flea. Like he's like a little mosquito. And he's like bitey kind of. Just get rid of him. Just deal with him already. And then like I don't know, like some like I don't know, barnyard dog probably like just kicks him really hard.
You think he gets taken out by barnyard dog?
I think he's at that point, honestly.
Well, Cool Cat doesn't even win this short. The bee does.
The bee does, exactly.
So, Cool Cat gets beaten out by a bee. I'm sorry, Cool Cat fans out there. Cool Cat has some very vocal fans out there, and I want to.
There's three of them.
I want to lift him up. I want to get him in there. I want to like see him throwing fists and everything. But man, Cool Cat, I gotta see if he's in some other stuff. Maybe he looks better.
Maybe he's awesome in Tweety's High Flying Detective Adventure, where he's like in every episode for some reason.
He is.
Yeah, for some reason in Tweety Sylvester Mysteries, Cool Cat is in every episode nearly as like a cameo character, almost always silent, but he's there.
I have to see like footage of this. That's incredible. Well, you know, Cool Cat has a lucrative career as a background actor in the Looney verse. So you know what? Good for him.
He has a lucrative career as like when they need to bring back a niche character to be like, hey, happy anniversary, Looney Tunes.
Why wasn't he in the Teen Titans Go Warner Brothers special? They should have put Cool Cat in there instead of Foghorn Leghorn.
Lou, did you know you might be the first person to ever say that specific combinations of word ever?
I'm so proud of myself.
Anyway, Cool Cat lost. I think he's a drunk loser now, and that's going to affect him on the battlefield. I think he's going to place pretty lowly.
Yeah.
I think Colonel Rimfire will outlast him now, honestly.
I also think that he got a hit against him when this short revealed that he's straight. I don't know.
Ooh,
that's kind of
true. He's lost a bit of his fruity powers, which is insanely important if you're like a Looney Tunes main character.
Yeah, you need to have a little bit of that. And now, who's to say he might not be bi? But you know, it's
if he's bi, he's not a very fruity bi.
And that's gonna
unlike
hurt
Bugs
him.
Bunny.
Unlike Bugs Bunny, who is
was a very fruity bi.
All right, well, let's talk about. Oh God. Okay, let's talk about Cock-A-Doodle Duel.
I think you should lead the charge on this one.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna describe this as the horniest Looney Tunes short that's ever existed in the whole entire world. Am I correct?
I'm thinking about it. I'm like racking through what we've watched. Yes, you're right. This is definitely the horniest one.
So when did this short come out? It's a new short. It's a
2004.
Yeah, it's a 2000s Looney Tunes short. It's got those really sharp colors and gradients. Delicious. And it stars my angel, Foghorn Leghorn, in his prime. You know,
in his prime.
Time. Yes, he's okay. In this short, Foghorn starts out and he has like a harem. There's no other way to describe it. That's just what he has. He has a bunch of female chickens who are just like hang on to his every word. They think he's so cool. When he talks, they lay eggs. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's the short uses eggs as basically a joke metaphor for like coming, basically. Like there's no other way to describe it. And this will be relevant later for some insane information we're going to drop on you about Foghorn Leghorn. But yes.
Yes. So Foghorn he's enjoying his life. This is, I feel like, different from when we usually see him in the classic shorts, because yes, he's usually depicted as one of, if not the only rooster on the farm. But most of the time, it feels like the lady chicken's kind of just like, he's like there, you know? They're just like, well, he's there.
Yeah, I mean, like, Priscilla Hedden isn't even that interested in him ultimately.
Yeah, and he's usually beefing with Barnyard Dog or Henry Chicken Hawk, so he ain't got time for that. But this is him living it up. Barnyard Dog is around, but like he's not really involved. You know, they're not getting into beef this time. And so he's enjoying life with his many girlfriends. And then here comes the Chadhorn Leghorn over here.
Maybe the worst Looney Tunes character ever, if we're being frank. Like, it's beyond the racist ones that exist. This is the worst guy. This is the worst one they've ever made.
Yes, so it is the only way I can describe it. And I will be putting an image on the screen right now. But the only way I can describe it for those listening, maybe you're driving or something, you know, listening to Looney Duels while you're on your morning commute or something. The only way I could describe this guy is if you took Foghorn Leghorn and just squeezed him to till he's like tall and skinny, but then you like fattened up his thighs like chicken wings and gave him like a huge comb.
Let's describe what it is. It's like Foghorn Leghorn bimboization.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
It's such a bad design. I hate to say it. I hate to say this is maybe one of the worst looking characters I've ever seen ever. I hate him.
That's harsh.
I don't like him at all.
Well, he comes into the farm. He's the new guy in town. You know, all the ladies are laying eggs over him because he's just so cool and he flexes his pecs, and anything that Foghorn tries to like compete with him in, he's just better at. Foghorn is like almost immediately on the offensive. He's trying to like fuck him up. He's trying to beat the shit out of him, but this guy is totally unaffected. Like, I don't even think he really fights back that much.
No, he doesn't.
He just like flicks him at one
Foghorn
point.
like just kind of makes an idiot of himself this whole short.
Yes, and there is a moment where Foghorn Leghorn is offered performance-enhancing drugs. Ooh. And initially turns them down.
But he's tempted pretty easily to taking them, and that's a new note for Foghorn. He is a cheater. He's a cheater. He's willing to cheat. And obviously you have to be willing to cheat in Looney Tunes Battlefield, but he's willing to take performance-enhancing drugs. Yes.
Which I'll just note is a chili pepper.
What does that call into question about some of his powers previously? Has Foghorn taken them before, or is this the first time?
Well, he denies it, so I think that maybe this is the first time, but I don't think that he would take them again because it doesn't really yield positive results.
Somebody gave him like a real performance-enhancing drug, though. Like, you think he'd take it?
Then he would probably, yes.
Okay, you think he's willing to stoop that low?
Yes, if it works for him, yes. If it proves to be a failure, never again.
Okay.
But he would cheat. He would.
All right.
That is just true. At one point, Cockhorn, Leghorn, Chadhog, whatever, he's over here singing a beautiful ballad. All the lady chickens, again, popping out eggs like fucking crazy.
One of the worst like visuals in this entire franchise.
And then Foghorn Leghorn comes over to give him, you know, the old what for, and then he himself lays an egg.
Okay, so let's talk about this, because it's definitely supposed to be like him like busted a nut a bit. Like, that's the idea. There's no way around this, because he's getting his ass shaken in his face moments before this. Like, he's definitely being turned on by this. So what does this mean for Foghorn Leghorn?
This means that when I called him a conservative Christian bi man, I was right.
So, I gotta be honest, I don't remember you ever calling him this. So, but I believe it. I believe that you called him that. That's the thing. I believe you called him that.
I have said over and over again, he's bi, and you're like, no, he's like a right wing, like straight homophobic, and I'm like, no, I knew, I always knew, he was a bi man in there. We just had to grab him out of there. We just gotta claw him out. We just had to shake a ass in his face, and he showed his true colors.
He comes. You think that's ability though? Like, what if they, okay, for whatever reason, I had to make up a scenario for this. For whatever reason, they need an egg on the Looney Tunes battlefield. Like, whoever's on Foghorn's team, and then, like, I don't know, Daffy's on his team, and then Daffy, like, does a sexy, like, figures out how to look sexy for Foghorn, and Foghorn just bursts eggs out, like, and, like, they aim his ass to, like, shoot the eggs.
Like, they could. It could be a projectile weapon.
It's awful. This is bad.
But this means Priscilla Hen also has this ability. In fact, all chickens might have this ability.
I'm really having to settle in what you're saying right now.
That means you just have to, you know, pique their intrigue, you know, a little bit, and then you get a weapon right there and then.
I'm kind of taken aback by this conversation, like, honestly.
You were the one who brought it up!
Yeah, I know, but it's gotten worse over time. And I have to keep thinking about what's been implied here, what's going on in this situation, everything about this. Foghorn Leghorn's cum egg blaster.
Oh no, I didn't like that.
That's what this is. What happens after he comes?
Foghorn kills this guy.
He does.
So Foghorn Leghorn goes into a, like, anything you can do, I can do better,
right,
kind of competition, and he tricks the Chadhorn into consuming, like, popcorn kernels or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. He, like, consumes a bunch of, like, cornmeal and, like, hot dogs, and then, like, Foghorn shoots a flaming coal into his mouth, and he literally starts expanding and popping, and it's we were watching it with some friends, and our friend Aiden went, "What is this fetish shit?"
It's animated, that's for sure.
And then he literally explodes, and his, like, the only thing left are his little chicken feet, and he just, like, walks away, and I just have to assume it's like when you cut a chicken's head off and they walk for a little and then they die. So I think this guy's dead.
So can we assume can we add Foghorn Leghorn's, like, flaming coal slingshot to his moveset?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that means he's handy with a slingshot, like, if anything.
Did he pick up that flaming coal with his hands?
That didn't surprise me. Like, he sat in a boiling, like, pot of, like, I don't even know what it was. But he was sitting in hot water at the beginning of this episode, like just a cooking pot of water. And he's like, I bet you can't get in here with me and stand it as long as I can. Wink, wink, you know.
Okay, so...
Very hot tub behavior.
So, Foghorn Leghorn has heat immunity. We need to make note of this. He has some sort of immunity to heat. So, when he gets sent to Looney Tunes hell, he'll be fine down there.
Yeah, he'll be like, oh, somebody turn the AC up a little.
Whoa! Whoa, let's chill a bit.
Well, Foghorn, this is a win. The win for Foghorn. We haven't had one of those in a bit.
It's a win for Foghorn, but it maybe also might be a loss because he cummed an egg in this episode.
See, and the thing about this episode, and honestly about the Cool Cat episode we just watched, is they do not fit our requirements for having, like, reoccurring villains, like, rivals, you know?
I can't remember why I put this. I think I put all the ones from this around this time down just because I thought they'd be interesting. So, like, that's the only reason they're here.
It sure has been interesting.
I need to write this. I need to note this. This is the stat I wrote down. Foghorn's hot dog stat is 2. Remember that?
He can only fit 2 hot dogs in his mouth at a time.
You think the magic chilies will be on the battlefield, by the way?
Yeah, I think so.
Scattered around like chug jugs?
Yeah, I think the hot chilies that make you powerful and run, I think they can be scattered about.
Okay.
Let's talk about Duck-A-Muck. So Duck-A-Muck is the next one.
This is the first real short I feel like we've watched in ages.
This So it's a Daffy Duck one, and it's a pretty classic one at that. I don't really think we can talk much about it in terms of just, like, what the short's actually about. It's just a lot of, like, really snappy, fun gags about, like, Daffy Duck versus the animator, essentially. But I do think there's one very important thing about this short.
Yeah?
So at some point, the animator, who was later revealed to be Bugs Bunny, is able to erase Daffy's body and replace it with a completely new one.
Hmm?
And it functions, and he walks around, and he's able to control it, which is huge, I think, because this means that on a biological level, all Looney Tunes can be altered, like, dramatically.
Okay.
You could change a lot about them. You could take Barnyard Dog, for instance, and, like, erase his body and then, like, draw it again, but with, like, gigantic muscles. And then suddenly you have, like, a souped-up, like, Barnyard Dog.
Okay. Now, I also want to make note of this. Bugs Bunny has the power to do this.
Yes.
He's the one who could
Exactly.
he can change anyone around him to his whim. So, I mean, like, just let that sink in for a moment.
So here's where I make up a proposal.
Okay.
I think that this hypothetical battle that we've been imagining, I think we've been looking at it wrong.
Okay.
So I don't think Bugs Bunny is a participant.
You don't.
I think he is the instigator.
Okay.
I think he grabbed all the Looney Tunes cells and put them on a page together, and he just sat back and watched.
Because there's no way around it. He's a god now. Like, he's basically
Yes.
like in the Looney Tunes realm, like, he's like what guys who like actually care a lot about power scaling would say, like, is like a god character. Like,
Yes.
he is the Whis of from Dragon Ball of the Looney Tunes verse right now.
Yes, exactly.
Everyone else is like
all powerful.
He is just a guy laughing and having fun and being silly, and like everyone else is just stuck to his whim.
Yes, exactly. So in saying this, as Bugs Bunny is watching, what's to stop him from just kind of like making a change here or there, just to keep it a little interesting?
Okay.
Just to make it a little funny, you know? I think I think he plays with them like they're toys, is what I'm saying, like they're dolls.
Okay.
Smashing them against each other and watching them kill each other. And when they die, he can just draw them again.
And it's never ending.
It's never ending.
I want to bring this up. I think this is an important part of this conversation. Daffy Duck isn't scared of this god.
True.
He is only annoyed. And I think now we have to start having the conversation. What Looney Tunes fear the god, aka Bugs?
Well, most Looney Tunes are very hot-headed. Like, I don't think Yosemite Sam would be scared of him. He'd be, like, mad. I think he'd be pissed off about it. Maybe, like, Sylvester?
You know who is canonically scared of God? Elmer Fudd.
Elmer Fudd!
How is he gonna react? How is all Elmer Fudd gonna react? His God, he goes to church every Sunday, worships the Lord. What's gonna happen to that man? Because that God was always that rabbit the whole time.
Oh, God. He's going to have an existential crisis. Maybe that's what put him in that asylum.
What will it do to him on the battlefield? Like, what will it turn him into that everything he knew is a game for this rabbit?
I think it would unlock his true form.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that without anything shackling him down to his reality, his current reality, he could just let it all go and reach a zen.
Nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing really matters, does it? And then he kind of like sits back, and it's like his eyes start glowing, and he's like starts floating off the ground, and like nothing can touch him anymore, like because nothing matters to him anymore.
Okay.
So he's he's not very like sentient in this form. I think he's like almost like a machine where he just like goes forward, and you better not be in the way.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, that's great. That's really good. I this short, it's funny. We barely talked about like what happens in this short, but it has fundamentally changed how we're going to talk about everything we talk about going forward. Bugs Bunny is no longer a participant. We'll still talk about him. We'll still talk about with Bugs Bunny if he was hypothetically in this battle, how he would do. He'd win, but that's besides the point. But now, the discussion to be had is how does everyone survive in Bugs Bunny's little game? And Daffy Duck does not fear Bugs Bunny as a god figure, and that's something we're going to be considering going forward. Is like what Looney Tunes are fighting out of fear and who's fighting out of rage.
And that's going to really change a lot of them up, I think.
And Bugs Bunny can do whatever he wants. He can like draw like I don't know. He can like be like, "Hey, Lola Bunny, Barnyard Dog," and he races their body and gives them like huge muscles, like fight to the death.
Do it.
Really.
I think this short can technically be called a Daffy lose.
And Bugs wins, I guess.
I guess. I mean, he's just in control of it, so, do what you must. And maybe that's why Bugs fears the supernatural so much, because it's something he can't control.
Ooh, maybe.
Maybe. Much to discuss.
Witch Hazel definitely doesn't fear God, then.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Well, let's talk about our last short. It's called Ain't She Tweet. That's right, it's a Tweety and Sylvester one. You thought we were going to not do one of these. Here it is. No red one right there.
I think the biggest thing to come out of this one is Granny's new move that she has. Granny commands an army of dogs. Like big,
there's
big
like 100
bulldogs. Like huge.
Yeah, she has a bunch of bulldogs in her yard.
But she loves them all, by the way. She loves them.
And they love her.
Mm-hmm.
And this adds a lot to the Looney Tunes dog meta. We're bringing it back. Because these dogs are Looney Tunes dogs. Like, end of discussion. That's what they are. Are they going to keep their alliance with Granny? Or does Granny now have command over, like, all the Looney Tunes dogs, or a good majority of them? There's quite a lot of them.
If Granny has control over all of them, that's just huge, right? Like, if she can command Looney Tunes dogs, because this is maybe the first time we've seen like a commander for them. We've had Elmer in the past, but they don't give a shit about Elmer, clearly.
Right.
But like the dogs love Granny.
Well, she's always been an animal person. She's always had a way with the animals, so it was always going to be something that she was going to have an advantage over other Looney Tunes characters. And now she has like a tangible army, and they all seem to don't mind Tweety Bird, so that's another fucking advantage for Tweety.
I think Granny's always been, I think, a high tier Looney Tune, right? Like we've always kind of agreed, like she has powers beyond our comprehension. But I think now, knowing that she inherently has the respect and like admiration of any Looney Tunes animal possibly, I'm sure there's people who will deny her. Like Sylvester Cooley doesn't give a shit, and you know Daffy does it, or Henry Chickenhawk. But like any like generic dog or loving animal character, they're under her thumb. She will treat them well, and they will treat her well back.
And she'll love them, and they'll love her. Sylvester's afraid of getting arrested in this one.
Yeah. Something I kind of know of this one is Sylvester is a bit of a tinkerer, but he isn't very good at using his inventions. Like this is we see him build a lot in this short. Like he builds a rocket, but he can't fly the rocket. So I think Sylvester is maybe more of a brains than a brawn thing to start considering.
Okay, so you're saying that oftentimes he's trying to use physical force when he really should be thinking a little bit more. He's more in line with like a Wily type.
Right.
Whereas Wily thinks too much and should be using his physical strength more often.
Of course he doesn't.
I think Wile E. Coyote and Sylvester should go on a date.
Okay, is that where this is going?
Yeah, why not? I think they have a lot to learn from each other.
Okay, all right.
I think that Sylvester and Wile E. Coyote, if they sat down and like had a conversation, and Sylvester's like telling Wiley all his like really good ideas, and Wiley's like nodding, and he holds up a little sign that says, "Wow, you're really smart." And then Sylvester like reaches up and like touches Wiley's arm, and he's like, "And you're very strong."
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, this short is also another point in the like malicious Tweety favor. That's been kind of a point of debate. Yeah. Tweety Bird is definitely malicious in this one.
He's sadistic, actually, more than anything.
He is because like there's a few shorts where like Sylvester kind of screws himself. Tweety is definitely fucking with him in this one.
Sylvester is climbing up a tree branch, and it's over the like pit of dogs in the yard, and Tweety's standing on the other end of the tree branch, and he grabs a saw and starts like sawing away, and Sylvester stops, gets on his like hands and knees, and starts like begging him not to cut it, like he's clasping his hands together and shaking them, and Tweety just doesn't listen. He just does it.
I think
Sylvester gets mauled.
I think the most fucked up thing he does in this one is the Sylvester's on these stilts. He builds stilts. That's another thing he builds in this one. And he's going over the dogs, and when he gets close to Tweety pushes out a toolbox and he goes, "I wonder if the animals would need this."
Oh my god.
And the dogs who know how to use tools, by the way. So all of Granny's dog army can use tools. Remember that. They cut his stilts. He gets mauled.
Tweety Bird, why are you so fucked up?
Oh, one minor thing also. Sylvester has broken the law by tampering with the mail system. Just give a note. And that was a Tweety win. That's not much more to say.
Yeah, Tweety wins. Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-fucking-do. He won. Want some comments?
Well, yes, I would love to read some comments.
This is an interesting one right here from Kiara Waffles. This is like a cool cat question of the past, but not now. Now I think that Cool Cat versus Yosemite Sam could be an interesting matchup. Cool Cat is a chill guy, while Sam is very hot-headed. And you know, they do say opposites attract. Anyway, now that I've lured you into my actual scenario is Cool Cat versus Shere Khan, in which Shere Khan would just eat Cool Cat without issue. I didn't read the second half of that comment at all. I mean, that's true. Shere Khan probably would get him. But I want to go back to that Yosemite Sam versus Cool Cat part. I think that might have been true in the past. I might have said Cool Cat is like I don't know, like he's like the fire type to like Yosemite Sam's grass type. Like he's on a type advantage. I'm not sure anymore though. I'm not sure.
What do you think? Like because of this latest short?
Because of this latest short, and you know, I'm on team. This is the future. I think Cool Cat would get mad at Yosemite Sam. He would not keep his cool. Yosemite Sam would like shoot him in the bum, and he'd go, "Hey, what are you doing?" He'd get like really angry. He'd get like really mad.
But Cool Cat's a fucking tiger. He just maul him at that point.
I think have you seen this guy maul once? You think he knows how to do that?
No.
He drives his gay little car around. That's all he does.
He doesn't even have a hat anymore.
Yosemite Sam would find someone he could own easily with Cool Cat, and he would get giddy. He'd be so happy. Like, he'd be like, ooh, the little kitty's a little pussy, actually. And then he'd fuck with him so hard, and this would be Yosemite Sam win.
His first ever.
This would be like a short where Yosemite Sam just is like tortures Cool Cat the entire time and messing with him, getting him angry and angrier. And since Cool Cat is beyond his prime, he can't do anything about it. It's like miserable.
Oh my god.
You have any thoughts on that?
No.
Okay.
You just like pitched a short where Yosemite Sam like torture kills Cool Cat.
I don't know. It basically happens in a lot of these shorts, to be fair. I got another one here that's pretty good. Okay, this is from Ron Coy. Sorry I pronounced that wrong. During multiple episodes, you have determined what characters are connected to each other. This has included crying at each other's deaths. This leads me to ask, would anyone mourn over Cool Cat's corpse? Or is there truly no one that actually cares about him?
What about that ghost? Do you think they're friends?
I don't think
they still hang out?
I don't think that ghost will be on the battlefield.
So we're envisioning Cool Cat, he's lying on the battlefield, he's dead.
Hmm?
Is there anybody who would come up and like cry about it? Ooh, maybe Colonel Rimfire would like be sad that if he didn't kill him. Like,
okay. Like,
if he came across his body and he's like, "Oh blasted, I didn't kill him
so he
myself."
No, he wouldn't be upset about like the tragic past scene. He'd just be like, "Ah, dang, I wanted to do that." So nobody loves Cool Cat still, is what we're saying.
Yeah, I think that there's not enough data, okay? Like, it's just, if there were more shorts and he, like, developed a bond with more characters, if he crossed over more, there'd be more data. Like, I don't believe that there's, like, nobody who would eventually care about his death, but currently with the data we have, it's just not enough.
Hypothetically, if Cool Cat met other Looney Tunes, do you think there's one he could bond with?
Let's see. So he's a chill guy.
Mm-hmm.
What about Speedy Gonzalez?
I think Speedy Gonzalez is way too cool for that.
Wow. Okay. I think that they'd be friends. I think that Cool Cat and Speedy Gonzalez would be pretty good friends. Because Speedy would just, like, come up to him and Cool Cat would be like, "Hey, man. Like, what's up?" And Speedy would, like, get with his vibe because most of the other Looney Tunes are, like, neurotic. So it would be something he'd appreciate.
Okay, well, I guess. I just think Speedy would, like, think he's a loser.
Wow, you think, Speedy's a cool guy. He wouldn't think that. He would be nice.
All right.
Do we have any other questions?
from Super Pilky Rose 64, who got Cool Cat pregnant.
Well, folks, it's been a really great show. Let's exit to the left. We'll see y'all around.
Speedy Gonzalez.
That's all, folks. Bye.
Yeah.